Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into the Big Blue Breakdown. This is episode number 51 here on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this one. It means a lot. We were also live earlier today as well. We talked about Kentucky's 8-point win. Is that right? 8-point win over the Toledo Rockets. Make sure to go watch that. I think we had some good things on there with had a good graphic of what Cole Kublik thought about the game, advanced stats type of thing, and advanced box score. I think it'd be really, really good to go watch that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this one. I am your host, Jackson Thurman. Please go follow us on social media, on TikTok, X, and Instagram. You're missing out if you don't go do that. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment here on this, and also turn on the notification bell because you get the pop-up when we go live like this. Thank you guys again for tuning into this one. On this one, we're going to be breaking down my top 25 and my SEC power rankings. So that is what we will be diving into in this one. But before we go ahead and get started and everything, we're going to give a quick word to our friends over at W. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. And then when you come back here, once we get done with that, we will talk my top 25, some games that really were influential in the top 25, and my SEC power rankings heading into week 2. Some big games that fluctuated that as well, and how that can be fluctuated heading into week 3. Some big things that can, some big games coming up that can really change that up and switch up a lot there. But let's go ahead and give a quick word to our sponsor over at W Energy. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number 1, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number 2, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number 3, the drinks are $1 or less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. All right, welcome back in, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into my top 25. I want to talk about some changes that we had and some changes that we made and why we made those changes. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this one. But this right now is my top 25. Okay, so obviously, number one Texas goes down. They were my number one team in coming into the preseason, going into week one, just like the AP Top 25 poll. They lose, right? And they didn't look amazing. Like, Arch did not look amazing in that game. Like, let's be completely honest here, right? He did not look good, okay? But people are overreacting of this game. People are very overreacting to how Arch played. They're overreacting. I think it's not as bad as people may think, and it's not as good as people may think as well. Like it's somewhere in the middle there. Okay, this team's still very, very good, only allowing 14 points against the Ohio State Buckeyes, but then you look on the other side, you only score 7 points. Again, this was Arch's first ever road start, ever, just period, in college football. There's only so much to me that you can take from this game. And again, they still had a chance to win this game. That is the big thing for me. They still had a chance to win this game. I don't think I put too much into that, but let's just go ahead and run through all of the teams right here, why I chose it. But like obviously, number one, Texas falls to number 5, but let's go ahead. Right now, I do have, it's kind of like one drops, so I move a couple up, and there was no team. I don't think Ohio State, I don't want to say they're not deserving of that number 1 spot, but I had Penn State at number 2. I believe that that was a very close race to me, but I have Penn State there in number 1 now. I have Georgia at number 2. I have Ohio State at number 3. LSU, after a very, very good game against the Clemson Tigers, sitting there at number 4. I do have Texas at number 5. I do have Clemson still at number 6, I believe. Still number 6. I believe they moved down 1 or 2. I don't think it's that big of a loss. Like I think K. Klumnik is still going to be very, very good. And I'm going to dive into each one of these. Oregon, number 7. 8, Florida. Big jump right there. I believe it's 2 or 3 spots for the Gators. Miami with a big win over Notre Dame, sitting at number 9. Number 10, Illinois. Number 11, Texas A&M. Number 12, Notre Dame. Number 13, Oklahoma. Number 14, South Carolina. 15, Florida State with an absolute humongous win against the Crimson Tide. 16, Iowa State. 17, Texas Tech. 18, Alabama. 19, Tennessee. 20, Auburn. 21, Ole Miss. 22, Georgia Tech. 23, Iowa. 24, Arizona State. And 25, Michigan. Let's start from the bottom here. I didn't love what I seen from Michigan. Like, I'm being completely open and honest here. It wasn't truly amazing to be... I believe I had them at, like, the number 20... Maybe the number 20 spot? Maybe the 22 or something like that. I think it's number 20 or 21, but I moved them down to 25. It's not necessarily just because I didn't love what I seen from them. I thought they played solid against a solid team, I believe, in New Mexico, but I didn't love what I seen. But more importantly, it was the teams around them getting very solid victories to move up. So that's really why they are moved down a couple of spots here. Same thing with Arizona State. It wasn't nothing that they did wrong. It was just what the teams around them did right to move up rightfully in other spots. Like, I can't sit here and when Arizona gets a not so, like, it's a good win, but like a win against a team that's not very good, but a team gets a high-profile win, I'm obviously going to move them up above them because they're not proven yet technically, and then this other team has a very, very good win. So that is what kind of like the formula I guess I have going on here. Same thing with Iowa. It's really about the same thing. They moved down a couple of spots, but Georgia Tech has a very, very nice win against Colorado. They go to Colorado and they handle business very, very good from Georgia Tech. I like what I've seen from them. I think Haynes King is very, very underrated. I'm a huge Haynes King fan. I believe he can really do it all. He has tremendous legs, he has tremendous speed, and he can get it done while he is outside the pocket. I love Haynes King. I believe their Georgia Tech's defense is very, very solid, and so that is why I have them at 22. Again, same thing for 25, 24, 23. It was not more. They played solid in the first game of the year. They didn't really play anybody, but it was more of how good these other teams looked to move them up and to move some of these other teams down. 21 Ole Miss, I actually liked what I saw from Ole Miss. Now, there is some question marks with some turnover issues with Austin Simmons and some offensive line issues as well. Another thing is they gave up 191 yards, 171 yards against Georgia State, but they killed them, like 63-7. They killed them. They had some tremendous drives where you've seen the flashes of a very, very good quarterback and a very, very good team in general. So I do move them up there because such a dominating win there from the Rebs. Then you have Auburn, who beat Baylor. That was a very, very nice win, very high-profile win right there. I loved what I saw from Jackson Dart. I believe he does have to get it going through the air a little bit more for me to trust this team more. Like, just to be completely honest, for me to trust this team more, I believe this team and him had to get it going through the air just a little bit better. Other than that, I love this team. I love the talent, as I've preached that many, many times. Number 19, Tennessee. I actually really, really liked what I saw from Tennessee. I think Joey Aguilar went out there and proved people like me wrong. I'm not saying that I am fully sold on Joey Aguilar and the Vols. Now, I think there's some issues with their defensive line front. Like, I'm being completely honest here. That's a problem that I think can become, and I don't want to say a major problem, but it can be. I liked what I saw from the running back room. The transfer from New Mexico State looked very, very good back there. And overall, they played very, very good against a very solid team in Syracuse. It ended up being 45-26 to end that game. It felt like they dominated from the very beginning, scoring 17 points in the first quarter. Now, then Syracuse scores 14 in the second quarter, 6 and 6 in the third and fourth. So the defense is what I truly worry about, if I'm being completely honest here. But I loved the Tennessee offense, and they kind of got me in a mindset where, like, okay, maybe this team is going to prove me wrong in that aspect. But to me, I'm really going to give my true opinion. And did they come out and become a better team? While I didn't think they did, while I did not think that they did, I will determine that, at least for me, once it gets to SEC play and I see a little bit more of this team. But very, very good win right there, and that is why I have them at the number 19 spot in my top 25, just right ahead of them. I honestly thought about having Auburn and Tennessee more higher up than Alabama, but I didn't put it like that. I didn't. I like Alabama enough to keep them within the 20 plus. I don't like them enough to keep them in the 15 plus, 10 plus, so on and so forth. They got absolutely dominated. Let's be completely honest here. They got absolutely dominated against the Florida State Seminoles, 31-17. Their offensive line looked horrific. They could not stop the run. Major, major problems. I liked what I saw from Ty Simpson. I did. I liked what I saw from him. He's shown really, really good flashes. He had to escape the pocket so many daggone times, truly making tremendous plays with his legs and trying to get somebody open downfield while he's being pressured. I liked what I saw from him. They could not stop the run, and they could not stop the defensive line of Florida State. That is a telling sign once you get to SEC play and you play a team like Georgia. is it going to be that much worse? That much worse. Props to Florida State for a big win right there, but man, I did not like what I seen at all from the Crimson Tide. And it's kind of more both of what I didn't like and what I liked from Florida State, which I'll get into them later in this top 25. 17, Texas Tech, they took care of business. Again, I like them. It's more of what the teams did to get ahead of them, not exactly what they did wrong or anything like that. I just like some of the other teams a little bit more with their win ahead of them, like Iowa State beating Kansas State. Now, I'm with Kansas State. They're completely out of my top 25 right now. Completely out. Because they almost lost to, was it North Dakota? They almost lost to North Dakota. Like, a team like that, you should not have a close game against a team like that. They're not even they were playing an FCS school and almost lost. They were down in the fourth quarter with minutes to go, guys. That's why they're out. But speaking, like, Iowa State, I like what I have seen from Morocco Beck. I like it for Iowa State. I think they're very, very solid. I have them at 16. From unranked to 15th, I have the Florida State Seminoles. Absolutely loved what I saw from them. Gus Malzahn, I think, is the guy for this offense. But man, did they come out and put their foot down and made a statement against the Alabama Crimson Tide of this game. To basically restate what I said about Bama, but in a positive way here, they had, like, Castellanos had time in the pocket. He's a tremendous runner and a tremendous athlete. He works perfectly for this system in Gus Malzahn. They were getting tons and tons of pressure on Ty Simpson and that Alabama offensive line, which we thought was going to be absolutely tremendous, but they're not. Well, at least what we have seen so far, they're not. Like, just domination again here from Florida State. 31-17. It was 7-7. They really took control in the second quarter, going to halftime 17-7. And then it was 24. Then it was 24. What would that be? 24-10. Pure domination from the Florida State Seminoles. I absolutely loved what I saw from them. Moving up from unranked to 15th in the country, at least for me. That's where I have them. Very, very high on them. If they continue to play like this, real contenders in the ACC this year. And they will only climb my ladder on my top 25. Love what I saw from the Seminoles there. And especially in that Gus Malzahn offense. Now, number 14 here. South Carolina beats Virginia Tech. Kind of a history thing there with why I blank his name, Shane Beamer and his father. I think Shane played there and coached there. So did his dad. So that was kind of just interesting there. But they got a solid win. The thing that I'm really truly worried about is their offensive line. They did not look good, and that worries me about SEC play. I still have them here because it was a solid win, almost 2-touchdown win against Virginia Tech. They did stay in it though for a very long time. It's just you got too much talent in Lenore Sellers and Dylan Stewart. Nick Harper didn't look good, so I'm kind of keeping them around this spot. Really worried about what this is going to look like in SEC play, but when you still have Lenore Sellers on your roster, I guess you have to be in this conversation here. Moving on to Oklahoma, and John Mateer with a very, very nice win against Illinois State. They just took care of business. They handled their business. That's really about all for them. John Mateer looked very, very good, and they got a very, very tough game against the Michigan Wolverines. Game day in Norman, Oklahoma, against the Wolverines coming next week. Be very, very interesting, and that can really catapult how they play. How they play can really catapult, or not want to say decrease, but I don't like shoot them down or catapult them forward for me in my rankings. But then you have number 12, Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame still. I'm being completely honest here. They had a very, very tough test against Miami and only came out losing by 3. I still like Notre Dame. I thought their what would it be? That redshirt freshman played very solid, guys, against a very solid Miami defense with Ruben Bain, who looked phenomenal. I liked what I saw from him, honestly. Honestly, their defense needs to step up a little bit for sure, But in the long run, I think this team is going to be very, very good and a title contender because I think they will get better. I think they need to hand the ball off to Jeremiah Love more, just get him going a little bit more. But I like the pass game here with a redshirt freshman at quarterback. I think it's Carr is his last name. I'm not too worried about this loss. Being completely honest here, against a very, very good team in Miami. Moving on to 11 Texas A&M. It was an okay game against UTSA. Being completely honest here, I didn't love what I saw from their defense, giving up 24 points, I believe, but it's still a win. I still like Marcel Reed. I still like Mike Elko and what he can do with this defense. KC Concepcion looked absolutely tremendous out there, so he's got a real target. And Le'Veon Moss is Le'Veon Moss, so I still like it for this group. It's just the defense has to step up, and I trust in Mike Elko to do that in the next coming of weeks. Illinois gets a very, very good win. It was like Western Illinois, I believe they won. They just took care of business. They dominated that game. I like this team a lot. They had a really good year last year. They return a lot. I like this team moving forward to have a shot in the Big Ten. Now Miami, as I just talked about them here in their win against Notre Dame. Now again, I'm still sitting here saying that Notre Dame is a very, very good team. Carson Beck looked absolutely tremendous. The wide receivers for this team look tremendous. The defensive line for Miami is a major, major upgrade from last year. They did not have the collapses as many times as this Miami team would have had last year. The defense is an upgrade. And you saw a lot of really, really good things from this offense, and that is why I have them here at my number 9 spot. Number 8, Florida. Man, did DJ Lagway and the Gators looked tremendous against the Long Island Sharks, I want to say. Something like that. They looked tremendous, guys. They did. If you guys are in here watching, what are your guys' thoughts on my top 25? Do you have any critiques on it, or do you like some of it? Just tell me some of your thoughts if you guys want to. But moving on here with Florida, I like them. Like, Jaden Ball is very, very good. This offensive line looked very, very good. It's just the tough schedule. I just liked what I saw against Long Island to move them up, and I think they started in a good position in my top 25. Let's see. They got a tough test against South Florida. Let's see, guys. So, number 7 spot, Oregon. Took care of business. Dan Lanning, I love him. I think this team is going to be very, very solid again. They got so much talent on this roster, it's not even funny. I don't have any critiques. They just took care of business, and that's all they really could do. And with some teams falling in front of them, they just took that natural step and went up here. At number 6 here, Clemson. I think they moved down a couple spots. I'm not too worried. I love Kate Klubnik, and I love their defense, and I love the play calling for this offense. I think they're going to be perfectly fine. I just think LSU was just that hungry for a week 1 win. That's truly my opinion. I still love this Clemson team. Number 5, I have Texas. Not too big of a fall as people may think. I'm not jumping off board right now. I'm not. I think you just got to give them a couple games, get situated in. They still got loads and loads of talent, and they only lost by 7 points, guys, when people think they played absolutely horrific. I still like it for the Texas Longhorns moving forward with that loss against Ohio State here. Bring up this graphic. 14-7, guys, and they still had a chance to win it at the end. That's the thing for me. They played terrible. Arch, in his own words, played terrible. I think this team will be perfectly fine, and they're going to be fine. Like, they're going to get better. They have too much talent to not be good under Steve Sarkisian. Moving on to Number 4, LSU. I love what I've seen from LSU. Man, did they look good against a very, very good team in Clemson. I absolutely loved what I seen from them. I think LSU is national championship good this year, guys. Cade. No, I say Cade. Garrett Nussmeier has the weapons around him to be like Heisman elite here, and I've been talking about him for a while. I really, really like this team a lot. I think they're very, very dangerous heading into SEC play here soon. They took care of business on the road against a top 10 team in Clemson. Huge win. Defense looks very, very good. They have a defense. They get their week 1 win. This team right here, man. This team right here. They're not going to lose a lot of football games. I think I had them going 9-3. I see 11-1 now with this type of win. That's just me, though. 3, Ohio State. I did not mean to go to that one. Excuse me. As I was just talking about them, good win. Like, Julian Sand looked really, really good. They beat a super loaded, talented team, held them to 7 points. Their offense is gonna click. It's gonna keep going forward. Julian Sand has the weapons to do it. He has the offensive mind to do it. They're gonna be really, really good. I move them up a couple of spots for my top 25. Number 2, Georgia. They take care of business against Marshall. I like what I've seen from Gunnar Stockton. They got too much talent. They have too good of lines in the trenches, and they have too good now of a wide receiver room to not be good. Number 1, Penn State. Again, they take care of business here. The best running back duo in the country. Drew Aller, possibly the best quarterback in the country. They load up at the wide receiver position. They're really, really stout on defense, as always. That is my top 25 heading into week number 2 of the college football season. Tell me what you guys think right there. Just tell me what you guys, any critiques there. Excuse me for a drink of water. And then we will continue on to my SEC power rankings, which you guys might think is pretty interesting. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the SEC power rankings, guys. Or my SEC power rankings. Here we go. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, LSU. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Oklahoma. Number 5, Texas A&M. Number 6, Florida. Number 7, South Carolina. Number 8, Alabama. Number 9, Auburn. Number 10, Tennessee. Number 11, Ole Miss. Number 12, Missouri. Number 13, Kentucky. 14, Arkansas. 15, Vandy. 16, Mississippi State. Now you may be thinking here, why do I have Texas A&M under Florida in the AP Top 25, but above them in the SEC Power Rankings? I believe that was a mistake, guys. Or, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, that may actually not be a mistake here. I don't know. I'm okay with rolling with this. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with rolling still with my my top 25 and these SEC Power Rankings. I'm fine with that. So, let's start from the bottom here. Mississippi State, a very solid win against a very solid Southern Miss team that is reloaded with a very, very good coach coming from Marshall last year. Brought a whole bunch of really, really good guys over. They handle business in there for opening matchup at Southern Miss, which is very, very interesting to me. But they get the win over. I'm trying to bring up their thing here. They get the win over Southern Miss to start the year off 1-0, 34-17. Again, I don't love this Mississippi State team. I don't love what they have in weapons. Fluff Bothwell looks good. Again, it's just the surrounding staff. I'm still kind of down on them, but they get a very, very good win against a very solid team in Southern Miss. Number 15, Vanderbilt. They take care of business. Very, very solid against, who was it here? I think it was Charleston Southern, if I can get that right. Yeah, Charleston Southern. Yeah, they win 45-3. Again, just a solid win against a pretty bad team there. They handle business. Nothing really moved for me right there. Arkansas, number 14. Man, does Taylor Green in this offense look legit, guys. I like it for Arkansas. I think they can surprise some people this year, but I do have them at number 14 because of their defense, and sometimes for Taylor Green, he cannot just do it all by himself. They got a huge win against, who was it here? I'm trying to bring this up to tell you guys, 52-7 they won against Alabama A&M. They have a pretty easy game. Next week, start the year off 2-0. They play Arkansas State, and then they play at Ole Miss. Very, very interesting right there. I do move my Cats down one, though. The first change in this right here, Kentucky, sitting at 13. And it's not necessarily because I've already broke down Kentucky, how they played and everything, what the score was, contrasting to who we were playing. I've already broken that all down. It's not of how we played. It is simply because how good Missouri played and looked. Now they sit at the number 12 spot. And, guys, I do believe Kentucky can move up, especially if they beat Ole Miss. They will be moved up. I think it's just more of how dominant Missouri looked and how good Bro Pribula looked. So that's why I moved them up right there. Again, this is as unbiased as it can be right here. So Missouri wins 61-6 over Central Arkansas. They didn't play. Yeah, they didn't play this week, I don't believe. Yeah. They play Kansas this upcoming week. That game can really shake this up. The Ole Miss game can really shake this up. That's the first SEC game. So the Kentucky Ole Miss game can really, really shake some things up because it is the first SEC game of the year. Then I do have Ole Miss at number 11 here. I talked about them in the AP in my top 25. I keep saying AP. In my top 25, they handled their business with a really, really good win, but just didn't love some of the details that I liked here that I looked at with their offensive line, with Austin Simmons, and with their rush defense. Number 10, I am very, very impressed with Tennessee. They move up. They move up one here. I do think that I liked a little bit more what I saw from Auburn, but I think Joey Aguilar in Tennessee can surprise a lot of people this year. Auburn, number 9. I like the Tigers this year. I think they would beat Tennessee on a neutral site field right now. That is up in the air. I like this right here. I think it's debatable to have Tennessee over Auburn. But then we have number 8, Alabama. They take a huge step back from being number 2 in this to me, or number 3 in this to me, to number 8. Again, played absolutely terrible against Florida State on the offensive line, and they could not stop the run. That's why I had them at number 8. Number 7, already broke down the Gamecocks, but kind of worried about their offensive line, but you got too much of a dude in Lenore Sellers to have you anything below this right now. South Carolina beats Alabama in a neutral site field. South Carolina sits at number 7. Number 6. Well, this is why this is different compared to my AP Top 25. It's a different formula that I use here. In this, I look, Team A meets Team B, neutral site field, who wins. It's different for the Top 25. I look at that as, obviously, I take in the games that these teams have played, and then I think, would this team beat this team on a neutral site field? For the AP Top 25, I just look at how they looked in their games from now on moving forward. And the quality of team that they played, lost to or won, goes into it as well. So moving on to number 6, Florida here. I love what I saw from Florida in Billy Napier. They can have a really, really special season. I just think Texas A&M would get it done over them right now. I love what Mike Elko is doing. I have said that so many times. I love what him and Marcel Reed are doing. I love KC Concepcion. I also love John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners sitting at number 4 here. They took care of business. They didn't pull out all their tricks because they have a very, very tough game against Michigan coming up. I love what I saw from them. Texas only moved 2 down here. I'm not overreacting. I still like this team. It was a tough place to start for Arch Manning. That's why I have them number 3. Number 2, very arguably, could be number 1 for this. It can change for sure, but I do have LSU at number 2. And I think Georgia is just a little bit better right now. But I do love what I saw from LSU. I think that'll be a very, very good game right now between LSU and Georgia. But that is my top 25 and SEC power rankings. What do you guys think? If you guys have any problems with it or critiques, just let me know. But if not, thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. This was my top 25 and SEC power rankings. Going into week 2, we'll be updating these weekly, guys. Make sure to tune in. Again, it's a different formula for the AP top 25 and for the SEC power rankings because some things might look a little bit different. The AP top 25 is now moving forward, and it went into this one solely based on how they looked and how they played against their recent competition. How good their competition was goes into that as well. How bad of a loss, how good of a loss, how good of a win, how bad of a win it was. That goes all in. It's a lot simpler for the SEC power rankings. If Team A meets Team B on a field, who wins? That's it. That's why they vary from each one. Power rankings are different than real rankings. Okay? Because rankings, you can just look at the conference rankings, right? Right? You can just look at that right now once we get into SEC play. But that's why it's different. That's why I use a different formula right there. That is my top 25, and that is my SEC power rankings, just for you guys to know what goes into both of them, the criteria, and why I have some teams higher than a team in the AP top 25 poll, solely based on what I've seen. But in the SEC power rankings, it'll be, okay, I still think this team could beat this team one-on-one, but that's not what goes into top 25. I don't think it is for the AP top 25 either. It's really a lot better where you start and then, again, who you play, how you play, who you beat, all that goes in. That has nothing to do with the SEC power rankings, because then it will just be the regular power rankings or the regular rankings of the SEC. How like that. So that's why it's different, guys. Just want to let you guys know. But thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 51 here. Make sure to go check us out on social media, on TikTok, X, Instagram. Go hit us up there, guys. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 on W to get 10% off your order. It helps a lot, guys, if you guys would do that. And hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit a goal of 500 subscribers. It would mean a lot if you did that. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this one, and we will catch you guys tomorrow, having a lot of content throughout this week, starting to break down Ole Miss game, what it means, going into all the details about that big week 2 game for the Cats. But thank you guys so much for tuning us into this one, and as always, go Cats.